Hey boyos, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be rolling out in my tier 9 medium tank, the KPZ 50t. And now that I've adjusted my playing style with this tank, I think I've started doing a bit better in it. I was playing really aggressive before and getting ammo rack murdered every single time. And it didn't work out. I'm playing this tank more like it's the Leopard PTA. And in certain situations where I can use my turret a little bit, I use it. But I play a lot more standoffishly now, and I think it's working out for me a bit better. So, pretty good start to this game for us because we killed their LTTB, and getting rid of the light tanks on this map is usually a great thing, but our light tank seems to be pretty dumb. He's just kind of driving around in the middle of the field, and he's probably going to get evaporated pretty soon here. And I got my gun over here to try and shoot the jar, but he was coming back down behind behind the hill, and I couldn't quite shoot him. So I'm just scanning here to see if I can get any kind of sliver shot on the Object 430, but he's not quite fat enough. He's not tall enough. The things I like best about this tank is the APCR, the shell velocity. It's so fast, and it makes it so much easier to play when you don't have to lead your shots quite so much. And it's like shots like this. Bammo. It's just like, yes. I mean, they don't do as much damage. They were doing like 320 damage, but it's still pretty sweet. So the tank's pretty accurate. I think it's like 0.8 or 0.29 or 0.28 as far as accuracy goes. Let's see if I can make this shot. Boom. No problem. If this guy would have sat here, I would say, boom, no problem, but no, it didn't happen. So I thought I'd just wait here for a little bit and see if I was going to get any more shots on guys, and they've really built up this ridge, and you can't really shoot a heck of a lot, and I was kind of hoping that the Leopard PTA would try and climb his way into those bushes to get a little bit more spots, see if he could find that char, or find something a little bit more interesting. But he didn't appear to want to do that. So, like, I'm scanning left, I'm like, hey, go in bush. And he's like, no. I'm gonna, like, rock back and forth. Not sure quite what he was trying to do there. He went to a good position, but he just kind of rocked back and forth, like maybe he was afraid. I don't know if he was just trying to shoot at what other people were already spotting, but that seemed to be what happened. So I'm sitting at 600 damage, and it's been about 4 minutes, and I decided, okay, I'm not doing enough here. I need to come over and support these guys, because I looked at the hit point differential, and now we were down about 3,000 hit points. So it was time to move over, and I wasn't going to quite take the hill, but I was at least going to get to this rock and then kind of evaluate how we were doing. Our tier 10s really decided not to perform this game. Our Action 10 did 0 damage, our Object 140 did almost no damage, and didn't quite play probably where they should have played. Even going the low road down there is not a great place for a medium tank to play. You can't hide your hull anywhere, and I mean, side scraping an Object 140, like, I don't know, it's probably a bad idea. Most of the time, anyway. I don't find it's going to be reliably able to do anything. Maybe the 121 could, or the Object 430, but that's probably why they won that area and we didn't. So I'm just going to back up here and see if I can see that guy disappear without me being able to shoot him. And was just trying to not be too scoped in, because when you're playing with the multi-zoom, you got to be careful not to do that. So I thought this guy was maybe going to go down. I was like, yeah, no, yeah, maybe. I had my heat rounds loaded, and they were like 310 heat rounds, so I thought I'd maybe take that speculative shot. So I get a shot into their E50M, who ended up being their best player, their MVP on their team. And I'm just dropping back here because it's nice to see, okay, is there a huge rock there, and that's why I can't see what I can't see. And then this guy, I think that just like went right through the front of his turret or something, and maybe I rolled really, really high. So I got pretty lucky on that one. We've got up to 1,300, 1,500 now, 1,600, and their object gets erased. Now they're not looking as confident as they were. And I wasn't sure if this E50M was going to try and push on these guys or not. And I don't quite have shots on the Cupola, on the E5, which is the Achilles heel of that tank. Yeah, so our Super Conk, he didn't really do a heck of a lot in this game either. He didn't manage to get to the top of the hill, but I mean, he's got epic levels of gun depression. He probably should have cleaned up really bad there, and I'm not really too sure why he didn't. So they seem to be a little bit more hesitant about pushing now, since I've seen some of their comrades get smashed. So I decided I'm going to knock down some of these trees, and I see our E50M going up, and so I decide, okay, if he's going to go up, I'll go up, and then we'll kind of like have about like three tanks. We'll do 50 TP. If we look behind, we've also got a G-Sor who wants to come up, so pretty good result there. So I'm just going to climb my way up to the top of the hill, and I want to try and get some shots into the E5. And this thing's, when you're at about 50 meters, it's like scalpel levels of accuracy and detail shots that you're able to make with this tank. So I decided I'm going to go on the left side of the 50 TP and see if I can just barely get the top of this guy's tank to come in, and boom. And I got the heat rounds loaded because I want to go. I want to get through. I want to make sure I'm able to pen him here. And what can I say? Like, look at that accuracy. Like, that is awesome. This tank, the Leopard PTA, are just wonderful tanks to play because they're actually accurate. You can actually shoot at things and expect your rounds to go where you want them to go. Just absolutely wonderful vehicles. I really like this tank. The Leopard PTA is probably a lot more faster and maneuverable. This thing feels a little bit more dumpy and slow, kind of like the E50, as far as its maneuverability goes. So their E50 dives off the cliff because he doesn't want to die. And I've loaded back to APCR, and I'm not quite sure what the Centurion was doing. Maybe he was AFK, maybe he was aiming down at our Leopard PTA and really, you know, scoped in. So I pop him, and the last thing you ever want to do on this map is just drive down that hill into their forest of tanks down there. So I always either drop off kind of where the E50 did without taking 500 damage, or I'll come back around this way and do it more of a safe kind of way, where I'll either go through the middle or I'll skirt kind of the top where the G-Sor is. You can see here, it's cross country, it's doing 60, but it just takes a while to get there. It's a little bit more lethargic than the Leopard PTA, at least from my experience in playing the tanks. It just doesn't move quite as fast. It's a little bit more dull as far as the maneuverability in the off-road department. Like, its ability to I guess change direction, and maybe its ground resistances are a little bit weird. So I'm going to try and rock myself up on the hill here to see if I can shoot the Char, but he's going to get erased before I can. And I did fire, but he just, yeah. He got killed before I could do anything. And then the UDIS shows up, and I'm not quite sure what he was aiming at and shooting at. There was no one really spotted down there. I don't know if he was AFK. He does kind of come alive here and start turning, but maybe he was a bot. I don't know about that bot positioning, but I somehow along the way managed to spot the T-54E1. So right here I decided, okay, maybe I will reposition slightly and I'll try and help the Lansen, because I kind of thought the Type would come after him, and sure enough he did. And I mean, Lansen versus the Type 61, I mean, neither one of them has armor, but the Type is going to out DPM him because he does 400 damage a shot and shoots quite fast. So unfortunately our Lansen bites the dust, and I'm going to reposition, and my Scorpion G is going to reposition with me. We've been down hit points for a large portion of the game now, but map position wise we're in a way better position, because taking the H1 position on this map is, in my opinion, it's a really bad idea. So I'm stopping, I'm aiming, gonna fully aim this one and plow that one into him, which is great. And then the rest of our guys, the 50 TP takes out their T-54E1, and I take a kind of guessing aiming shot at the M46. I have no idea if that went in. I decide, okay, I'm going to get up under these bushes and not be too aggressive with the Type 61. We're both probably not the most stealthy tanks driving around, at least from what I've seen. I think this thing has like 31, because it has my Leopard PTA crew in it, which is not an amazing crew. They're only like a 3-skill crew with Brothers in Arms and a couple other skills. So they're decent, but they're not like otherworldly like some people have. So I'm sweeping around here, and we got a Scorpion G with us, so that's good. I got a little bit of backup that can do about 500 damage, and against the Type 61, that's going to be really great because he has no armor, and I'm driving through here, and right about now, we pick each other up. So we spotted each other, I'm stopping, I'm aiming in, and we hit each other at the same time. And this is the Achilles heel of this tank, is it gets ammo racked a lot, and our Scorpion G helps me out. So I'm going to mouse over to him, say, thanks, bruh. And he says, vielen Dank, which means thank you very much, Dankeschön. Anyway, so I decide that instead of driving along the bottom of the map, I'm going to go up in here and try and help our 50 TP. Our Progetto's getting really, really, really aggressive. And he's against like a full health Leo, which is not really the best tank to kind of rush. Its DPM's not bad, and it's not going to miss. So is he gonna come up here? And then he was like, no, I'm not coming up here. And I actually bumped the Scorpion. I was like, ooh. So I'm gonna creep my way back along using these ridge lines here to just not really let the enemy know where I am. And things are looking a lot better than they were. We've clawed everything back to about 13 to 12, and we're actually up on hit points. So I am going to pretty much use this centered ditch right here to try and get a little bit closer. The Scorpion seems like he wants to go in. He's got a lot of hit points, so he can go in there and trade if he wants. And I want to try and get in maybe beside this rock so I can have something to fall back against, because, you know, I've had this tank get ammo racked on one hit, so I know how fragile it can be. So I pop him once, then the 50 TP taps him again, and things are looking like pretty rosy now. And is the Leopard gonna come again? I was like, come on, make my day, make my day. He's not doing it. So I was like, come on, are you gonna do it? Are you not gonna do it? And I really wanted to secure this one, so we're waiting for the 50 TP to get a little bit closer. And I thought he was maybe gonna try and like use these bushes to double bush or something like that. And now he starts climbing up a little bit, and I'm able to pop one into him. And our Scorpion G is going for it. So I just decide, okay, if he's going to go for it, I should go for it, because I'm pretty healthy on hit points still. And he crests the top of there, and I'm able to pop him and take him out. So it was a pretty good result. And yeah, ended up doing 4,035 damage. That hit on the M46 didn't actually go in. So yeah, this tank is pretty awesome. You just have to play it. I mean, some people that are better than me are probably able to play this tank like really amazingly, but for me, I like to play it a little bit more standoffishly and to shoot at people from like, I don't know, 400 or 500 meters away, just because the accuracy of the tank is great, the shell velocity is great, so it just overall I really love it. Gun depression's good, the turret can bounce shots, which differentiates it from the PTA. And I think its turret's more reliable than something like the E50. I find the E50's armor, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, the E50's armor held up a little bit better, but it really doesn't hold up now, even against tier 8s. Like, if you run into an Iron Arnie or BZ tanks, they just shred the E50 for 800 damage or 300 damage a shot. So, pretty cool tank, and I like it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again in the next video. Bye-bye.